And of course, I was here during the war. I remember, of course, the bonfires we had, the victory bonfires up on the hill.
Up on the barracks?
Yes, that's right. I don't remember who put them together, but they were huge bonfires. But the sad thing was, when you were up there during the war, you could see the bombing of Liverpool. Not the actual bombing, but it was more the searchlights and the, sadly, I think probably the reflection of the flames in the sky. But when you're 10 years old, I don't think it really registered. And when I look back, I think we were so lucky to live in this part of the world.
Yes, I was 9 when the war started, so my sort of formative years were war years. So there was the camp up at Grisdale, which was for prisoners of war. The Poles were guarding up there. They guarded, we have some Italians up there. They were out working in the field. Some of the Germans, they wouldn't let them because the beggars used to escape. I'll never forget when one did escape down at Stony Lane End. It overpowered the guards in the truck as they were coming up. They jumped out and ran off up Stony Lane. And they caught him eventually, well into the borders of Scotland, shipped him to Canada. Because they did with some of them, they were high Nazis and things like that, get them as far away as possible.
We did have our own searchlight here in Rusland. If you go to Rusland Hall and then turn right to go down to the beaches, it was in the field at the bottom. And I think we had a searchlight and I think an anti-aircraft gun.
Cassons had the forge, Myris Casson. In the end, there were 3 generations of Cassons. Old Myris, Middle Myris and Baby Myris. It died while the Middle Myris was there, but it was pretty active till then because there was a lot of forestry work going on, taking out trees. They thought they would need the wood to make those slats and laths that went into the trenches during the First World War, because everybody thought that the Second World War would run on the same line. And so they devastated woods round here.
And we used to play in the garth itself. And this day we heard all these engines roaring. Well, you didn't hear traffic in those days. There was not much public traffic. And a convoy of vehicles come down, the wagons, army wagons, jeeps, and transport of all kinds, Bren gun carriers, and they stopped in front of Leven's Garth. And we as children ran along the line of wagons to see how far they stretched. And they went up to Aberthwaite Station, down to the post office at Aberthwaite at the bottom of St George's Plainfield. And all the soldiers were getting out, were having a break. And they were going into the houses asking women or whoever's in the house, could they have boiling water to make tea? And I can remember this almost a cameo picture in my mind of the soldier coming up the path with me to number 1 Leven's Garth, knocking on the door and saying, "Are you there, missus?" And grandmother said, "Yes, what can I do for you?" "Can we have some water to brew tea, missus?" And he walked in, and on the table was a sponge cake she'd made, put jam in the middle of it, and he was looking longingly at this sponge cake, and she said, "Would you like a piece?" "Oh, aye, please, missus." And she cut it up and dropped it all into his tin hat, and he took it out for his mates on the roadside. And I thought, what a generous thing to do. We couldn't get a sponge cake. And I thought afterwards she'd be thinking, I hope somebody's doing it for her sons.